Hi guys, this is Decode. I welcome you to another video tutorial on creating an ASP.NET Core application with Angular 7. In the last video tutorial, we finished coding or finished fixing the Datatables API, but we have run into many issues and we need to fix them. The first issue that we need to fix is when a token expires, user is still logged in. So we all know that in order to view the products list, the user needs to be logged into the application and have a valid JWT token. But the token expiration time is only 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. After 1 hour, the application will not log out the user automatically. Instead, the user remains logged in the navigation, whereas the products will not load obviously because the token is expired, and when you're attaching an expired token and sending it to the server so that you can receive list of products, the server will deny the request and send a response of unauthorized. Now, first thing that we need to make sure is that when the token is expired, the user is logged out so that when we run the application, the old token is not being still kept in the memory of the browser. Now, if I go back to the application and go back to the product list component.ts, here, what I'm going to do is just to show you, I've created a method called as decode token, and all I'm doing is console.logging the value of the token. Now, this token that is going to be printed is basically going to be the expired token which is in the memory of the browser. And to fire off this method, inside the product list component.html, I have called this method adding a click event to the add product button. This is just for demonstration purposes. We are going to remove this method from here because that's not the purpose of this method for this button. So when I go back to the application and when I click add product, the JWT token will print on the console. Now this token is expired, and how do we know that this token is expired? Because this token contains the expiration time for the token, and we need to extract that and then verify before we send or redirect the user to the login page. So to do that, we will go to application and right click on our client app, open our terminal. We would need a package that is capable of decoding the JWT token. So let's open our terminal, and here this package is called as JWT Decode. You can see there are almost 530,000 weekly downloads for this package, and all this package does is it decodes a JWT token. So you create a variable and assign it the value of the token, and then to decode the token, all you do is call the JWT underscore decode method and pass the token. And what happens is the method will then decode the token. So this is basically the token, and when it's decoded, you'll get these values. So now to use this, we have to install this package, and to install the package, we are using Node Package Manager, as you all know. Therefore, we will open our terminal and type the command to install this package. Since I'm on a Mac, I have to use the sudo command, and using the sudo command, I'm going to type the following command: npm install jwt-decode, which is the name of the package. I'm going to hit enter. I'll pass my password, and now the package is going to be installed into my application. So the package was successfully installed, and just to make sure that we have the latest version, we can always visit the npm official page of the package, and we see it's 2.2.0, which is the latest version of this package. Now what we want to do is use this package so that we can decode our token. So let's try decoding this token, and to do that we will use this demo method that we have created here before we actually go ahead and use it in the account service class. We will first try to decode it and print it in the console. So what I'm going to do here is create a variable called as token. This is equal to the value that we are getting from the JWT from the browser. Next thing that we want to do is decode the token. Now to decode the token, first to call the JWT underscore decode method, we would need to first import the package. So to import the package, we have to write the import statement. So JWT underscore decode doesn't help because IntelliSense is not working. So we'll have to manually add the reference. So let's do that. So let's go up in our class and add the import star, which means all, as JWT underscore decode from JWT dash decode package. Now what we want to do is here inside this method, we are using the word JWT underscore decode. That's we are calling this package properties. We are assigning all the properties to this object called as JWT underscore decode. So now we will have access to all the methods, all the classes inside that JWT decode package using this object. So we'll say JWT underscore decode, and then we want to decode our token. And the example for this, as I showed you, is provided in the npm official package. So how we use it, so all we do is we use this method. Now let's assign this method to a variable as we see. So let's create a variable, call it as decoded, and all we want to do is now just print this decoded object onto the console and see what value we get. So let's go back to the browser in our application. So now we are inside the application, and let's see if it works, or we have to rerun this application because we have installed a new package. Actually, it did work. We didn't have to rebuild the package or application. So now if you see, when I click the product, initially it was printing the token itself, but now it is printing the decoded token. So now our token has been decoded, and the values of all our token is being displayed in the console. And now we know at what time our token is going to expire. So now using this, we can make sure that when our token is expired, we can log out the user automatically. So now let's use this JWT underscore decode method inside our account service. Since we have tested it and it works successfully, we will now use it in the account service. So let's do that. So let's get rid of this method. We don't need it here. We don't need this here because we just save this, go back to our component.list, and we don't need this click event here as well. So I'm going to get rid of that, save this, and now let's go to our account service. Now the account service, which method is responsible to tell the logged in status of a user, the method is called the check-in login status. So if you go to your AuthGuard service, and here we are redirecting the user based on the login status of the user. So if the login status is false, then we redirect the user to login. Now the login status, if you know, since the token is going to be present in the browser cache, the login status, if there's a login cookie, it's always, we have set the value to 1 and return true. So which means that this value will always remain 1 until that token is deleted from the cache. So here we have to check if the cookie is valid. So therefore I have created a token object here to get the token from the browser cache. Now we will follow the same procedure. We will go ahead and import the package here. so that we can use the JWT underscore decode object and its methods to decode our token. So let's add the import statement. So here I have added the import statement. I'm importing all from JWT underscore decode package as JWT underscore decode. And now to use this inside this method, check login status, what I'm going to do is I am going to decode my token. So let's create a constant variable, call it again as decoded. And guys, you can either use a variable or you can use create a constant object whose value will not be changed, it remains constant. And a variable is something whose value can be changed. So, and when we create a variable, let's say a, we don't have to initialize the value. So that's the difference. And if you're creating a variable, an object with using the let keyword, so let a, so we can do this as well. So it remains within, let remains keeps the value within the scope of the method. Variable can be used outside or inside of the method. Constant also can be used outside or inside of the method, but constant keeps the value intact, so no other method can change this value, whereas other method, if or inside this check login status, any method object, we can change the value of a variable. So you can get more information on Angular websites, or basically if you want more information on these variable types, you would have to go to TypeScript's official website, not Angular's, and you can learn more about it. So now what we are going to do here is we are going to decode this token. So using the JWT underscore decode object, we will decode this token. So call this token, and now what we want to do is inside this method, we want to check if the cookie is valid. To check if the cookie is valid, first thing we want to check is after the token is decoded. So we want to set a condition here. After the token is decoded, if there is a cookie, we will decode the cookie. So we know that we use this JWT underscore decode to decode the token. So what we want to check if the decoded token's key value, which is exp, is equal to undefined. So our decoded token will have different keys and values, like logged on time is equal to so and so, expiration time is equal to so and so. The exp keys value will be some number like this in UTC seconds. So what we want to do is we want to check if that value is undefined. If it's undefined, then we don't want to execute this further conditions. All we want to do is return false straight away. So now if the decoded token's expiration time is not equal to undefined, then we want to get the current date and time. So const date is equal to new date, and this object will now have the current date and time. Now we will validate if the token is expired or no. But before that, we want to convert this decoded time into UTC seconds. So let's do that. So to convert it, I'm going to create another object here, call it token expiration date is equal to, okay, I'll leave this like this, is equal to the date object that we created dot set UTC seconds, the method here, and we want to set the value of this to this decoded dot exp. So we will convert the expiration time to UTC seconds, and then now what we want to validate is if the expiry time is greater than the current time, which means if the token expiry time is greater than your current time, then the token is valid. If the token expiry time is less than your current time, which means that the token is already expired. Very simple logic. If the token is expired, obviously the token expiry time will be less than your current time. If the token is valid for another 1 hour, so then the expiration time will be greater than this time because we can still use it for another 1 hour. So we will set this condition over here. And the way we will you validate the value of the time is by calling the token expiration date that we created dot value of method. By calling this, we will get the value of that object. We will check if that expiration time is greater than, we will create a new date object over here, and the date method dot value of will give us the current date and time. We cannot use this one here because we want to get the exact current times. That's why we are creating a new date value time. And now we are checking that if the value of the expiration token is greater than the current date and time, and if it is greater, we all know that we have to return true because the token is valid. Also guys, now the next thing that we want to do is, you don't have to do this, but just for the sake of uh, printing what are these values, just to verify on our console that is it really greater or is it less than, we will print the values of this expiration time and the current date and time on our consoles by using the console.log statement. So let's do that. So now we will print this on our console, and finally if this value, which is the expiration time, is less than the current date and time, that means the token is expired, so we will return false. So now I'm going to save this. And one more thing that we want to do is, in the app settings.json file in your ASP.NET Core application, you will see that we had set this time to 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. I have changed it to 1 minute. That's because I don't want to wait 60 minutes in this video tutorial to validate that method. So I've changed it to 1 minute for now, so that we can validate if the token expires after 1 minute and we still see ourselves logged in the application. So now let's go ahead and go back to our application, and here, okay, now we are here. So now let's refresh this page, and you will see that in the console the values of the current date, which is current date and time, which is 155400 ending with 407, and the token date, that is the token that we have in the memory, the value of that token is 1554. Now that token is already expired, therefore the value of that token is less than the current date and time. If the token didn't expire, then this value will be greater than the current date and time. So currently it's expired, so therefore we are seeing this. So let's log in now. Submit. So I'm logged in, and now I'm going to products, and now I can see the list of products. I've added a bunch of sample products in there, so we can play around with it. Now I can go back forth. My token is still valid. I open a new tab, and I check. My token is still valid. I've not yet crossed that 1 minute threshold. So once I cross that 1 minute threshold, obviously I shouldn't be able to see the products component. I should be redirected to the login page, because that's what our logic says in the application. So let's wait for that application to hit that 1 minute threshold so we can see what exactly is happening. So far not hit 1 minute. I'll keep refreshing it. Finally, after 1 minute, there it is. 1 minute has passed, the token has expired. We have validated that the user's token is not valid. So in the console, I am not getting any errors other than the token date and the current date and time. As you see, the token date and time is less than the current date and time. Therefore, the token is expired. We know that. In this way, we can validate the expiry of our token and then redirect our users back to login page. There is another thing that we can do is which is refreshing tokens if we want to keep the users logged in, but that I will show you at the end of this project, because this now we have to go ahead and implement CRUD functionalities for our products. So in the next video tutorial, we will start implementing the CRUD functionality to add, remove, edit our products from the database through this interface that we have created. So once again, please like and subscribe my channel Tech Howdy. All the code is available completely free on the DevOps repos. You can use it in your application. Thank you for watching this video, and please like and subscribe my channel.